Buckle up for a courtroom showdown in State of Texas versus Tristan Smith and more. We're diving into a gripping mix of cases. Tristan, a teen caught in a cycle of trouble, fights for freedom without an ankle monitor, while others face charges from marijuana possession to domestic assault with a baseball bat twist. Expect high-stakes debates, judges' tough love, and raw emotional stakes as defendants plead for second chances. Will Tristan's school plea sway the court, or will past mistakes trap him? Stay tuned for jaw-dropping rulings and intense confrontations that'll keep you hooked.
Tristan Smith, have a report for you.
Okay, tell me.
The last question was about his being in custody. You mentioned that you were willing to let him out, and I assume no personal bonds, if we could show that he would be staying with an adult. I talked to a Miss Palmer, who is the woman that he was referring to. Miss Palmer is okay with him living with her, but she has some issues with the bond conditions. She does not want an individual living in her house with an ankle monitor, and she said she wanted to express that she is not his mother. Although he could stay there, she wanted to make sure that, I think she didn't want to take on any responsibilities that,
Sure.
So I told her I understood that this was merely about living arrangements, and we understand it's temporary and all of that. But she said she was fine, but she just cannot do the ankle monitor. So I wanted to bring that to your
I
attention.
don't understand what that means.
She doesn't want an individual in her house with an ankle monitor. I guess it's something she's never come in contact with and feels strange. I don't know. She does understand that he's accused of a crime and that he's going through a criminal process, but this was her sticking point. Not what I anticipated, but that was a sticking point for her. So I wanted to bring...
Whoa, let's pause here. The ankle monitor becomes the deal breaker, not the criminal history, not the court process, but the monitor. What does that tell us about public perception? Would you let someone live with you under those conditions? Drop your thoughts in the comments.
Bring that to your attention, and I guess my ask would be, would you be willing to amend that condition?
How are we able to monitor him then?
How would we monitor him?
Yeah. How do we know he's not going out in the middle of the night?
Well, we wouldn't. What we could do is, of course, what you said you would do, which is random UAs every time he comes. We could do frequent appearances for him. I mean, there's other, we're not going to know where
he
he's
has a hard time. It's a hard time making it here,
He does. But I did discover that there may be some resources available to him that I'm working on in terms of transportation. So I think we can remedy that, and that's through MAC. I think we can remedy that. But that was the first thing, because he's been in jail the whole time. He hasn't been able to get out, cannot make bond, doesn't have a cosigner. She's not willing to be a cosigner for him. So it's either going to be he sits there, set it for trial, or the state makes an offer that you're willing to accept. That's kind of where we are at this stage. So that was the first thought, is whether you'd be willing to amend that condition. That'll get him out. He'll stay with Ms. Palmer while we work out these cases.
Good. We're going to discuss with Kelsey in a moment and potential offer. We're going to talk about maybe a potential deferred. We'll discuss it with Kelsey and see if you're amenable to that, Your Honor.
Did you offer him a PTI?
No, PTI not offered, Your Honor. We offered previously a time served, but as you mentioned, you would not accept that. So we're going to discuss with Kelsey to see if some sort of probation.
And obviously, if the state were willing to offer a PTI, that's something I believe he would accept. But we talked about the potential for deferred, and I told him the legal implications of that.
My only issue is that if I let him out, as history has told us, when I try to get him here, it's very difficult. There's this excuse, there's that excuse. The only time I'm able to get him here is because he picked up a new case. Otherwise,
it had been tough to get him here, Judge.
I try to get him to go test, he just doesn't go. So it's...
the last time when he was ordered to appear, he came, he walked 9 hours. I mean, he wants to deal with it, but he's like, in his words, the court took away my parents, so I don't have an adult to stay with. And I was like, well, your parents asked for you not to go there. But the way he views it is...
Talk about a courtroom curveball. Tristan Smith, a 17-year-old stuck in jail, faces a bond dilemma. Miss Palmer will house him but refuses an ankle monitor, citing discomfort with the device despite his assault charge. The judge is skeptical. Without monitoring, how to ensure compliance? Defense pushes random drug tests and frequent check-ins, citing transportation aid via MAC, but Tristan's history of dodging court and new cases raises red flags. Emotional stakes hit hard, missed school, no family support, parents out of the picture. Legal breakdown. PTI, pretrial intervention, wasn't offered. Deferred adjudication is on the table, avoiding conviction if completed. But the judge's trust is thin. Tristan's excuses and new charges scream risk. Will he get a leash or stay locked up? Would you trust a teen with this track record? Should Miss Palmer budge on the monitor? Drop your take in the comments as we head to Tristan's plea for freedom.
Have you talked to him lately?
Him?
Or the parents?
No. I spoke to his mom. She a lady who said she was his mother.
That's normal.
Several weeks ago, but she doesn't live with, no. I've never talked to the grandmother. She hasn't taken my calls. And then the other CW was mine.
Have you tried to call grandma?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because I was curious about the information that we received, but she won't take my calls or return them. So he's in this situation where he has no way to get out. He's missed school.
You mind bringing up Mr. Smith, please? Tristan Smith.
I don't necessarily want him to come to court every week because that would, again, be absences and things like that from school. But if that's something that the court will require, we could work with Mac about transportation and getting him here. So I think he would be willing to do that.
Just, it scares me to put him on too long of a leash, because when we do that, here we are again,
Judge, we always have the random UAs to ensure that he's not ingesting any illegal substances. I mean, we have things to do to keep tabs on him. It's just a matter of how do we move forward with him not being in jail.
No one's checked anything on these. Hey, who filed these? Nothing is checked on any of them. Nothing's filled out. Ms. Brooker. Alex. Right, it's. How's jail? The question is, how do we go from here? Where do we go from here? All I want is the best for you, and it seems like when we give you too much of a leash, no good happens. Nothing good happens. I want to let you out, and he has found you a place to go to, but...
This is a turning point. Tristan pleads for a chance to just go to school, but let's be real. The judge is asking, can we trust you without surveillance? It's freedom versus accountability, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Do you think the judge should have removed the ankle monitor? Sound off below.
I guess the requirement is she's saying is that she doesn't want you to have an ankle monitor. But if I don't put the ankle monitor, am I supposed to take your word that you're not going out in the middle of the night? Really? How am I supposed to monitor to make sure you're not
I don't go nowhere. I just go to school, come home, that's it. I don't go nowhere, I don't do nothing. I'm just trying to go to school, that's it. I done already missed finals, been emailing her.
In this latest assault, where were they at?
So the latest assault, Your Honor, they were at, it appears to be at a residence. And then that's whenever they got into a group fight with the defendant and another female attacking the complainant.
Okay. I'm going to give you another chance, but I'm going to tell you now, 3 strikes, you're out. If I find that you're using marijuana, because I'm going to test you like crazy. As of today, I'm going to test you again in 3 weeks. If you test positive, it's not going to go well. Do you understand? You pick up a new case, and I don't know how else to get through to you, but if this is the only way, then this is the only way. I mean, somehow we have to get your attention. You need to make better decisions. If you come up across where there's going to be a fight, walk the other way. If you are hanging out with people who you know are up to no good, that they're going to go smoke weed, go the other way. If they're asking, hey, come on, let's go to the club, don't go. I don't want you out in the middle of the night. So you still have a curfew. Do you understand? What is reasonable, Mr. Brooks, do you think?
I have practice and stuff, so it would have to be like after like 9.
I would say 9 o'clock, Judge.
Okay with that?
17 years old, school activity should be finished by 8, I would think.
Okay, you must be at that house. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have, because since she doesn't want the monitor, okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have pretrial call you at 9:30 at night to ensure that you're at home. You're not going to know when they're going to call, but I'm ordering them to do that. So they're going to call. And if we call and they ask for you and you don't come to the phone, it's not going to go well for you. Do you understand? Okay, so the bond condition is to stay in school full time. And I want proof. I'm not going to take your word for it. I want proof that you're actually enrolled in school. No drugs, no alcohol, no contact with the complaining witness in this case. Do you know who the person he was with by chance?
Second, Judge.
The person he was with?
In the second case, the young lady, she was not mentioned, or I don't know who she was.
No bars?
She was my ex.
She doesn't live off this home.
No, she stayed all the way in Chattanooga, being in Chattanooga.
No bars, no clubs, anything of this nature?
Yes, sir.
Life is hard enough as it is. You see how hard it is when you don't have money. Life doesn't get easier the older you get. It only gets more difficult, especially being who you are in today's society. The only way that you're going to get anywhere is with this. Knowledge is power. And with power and with knowledge, you get money. And once you get that education, no one can take it from you, right? Only good things can happen. If you want resources, we have it here. I can give you paperwork so we can get you a cell phone and we can get you a tablet.
I have a phone and all that. Like I have a phone, I have an iPad. It was just hard for me to find housing at first because I didn't have nobody. So
you have someone now. So if they set rules for you, no matter how bad they are, you have to follow it, because if you don't and they kick you out, you're on the street again. So if she tells you to wax the floor, wax the damn floor. Because if you're not nice to these people, if you're not good to them, and if you don't have patience, you're going to end up on the street. You understand? Patience is everything. Self-control. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, for the drug testing, did you want me to just do it at the court's discretion so that for the dates?
I want to do random testing.
Okay, because last time we discussed it, we put them on weekly random.
No, I don't want to do that. We'll test in 3 weeks. 3 weeks we test them. And I also want you guys to call the house.
Yes, that's what we do for the curfew without GPS,
Right.
and what that's still 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay, so still keep the randoms.
And no weapon.
Yes.
All right, stay in school. Okay, come on.
Yeah. Page 6, Hoffman.
2501.
Page 7, Curry. That's where Raymond fell to appear first time.
2501. Good morning, sir. Good morning. You are, is it Mr. Magoo?
Yes, sir.
That's how I pronounce it?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with the offense of possession of marijuana. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 21 days in jail, credit for the 7 days that you've done. Is this how you understand the agreement?
Yes, sir.
You are giving up a lot of rights by entering this agreement. You give up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, it will go on your record. You can never take it off.
Yes, sir.
It's what you want to do.
Yes, sir.
Understand that from now on, you'll be facing a minimum of 30 days in jail for any new cases you pick up. You also need to understand that if you're on probation or parole, this can be used to revoke that, resulting in further confinement. How do you plead to the offense, sir?
Guilty.
I'll find you guilty. I'll sentence you to the agreement. I'll roll your court costs so you won't owe anything. If it's enhanced, it'll be abandoned, and good luck to you, sir. Thanks.
Thank you, Alicia. Do we have an update on Milford?
All right. You are Mr. Frank?
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Frank. Sir, you stand charged with the offense of evading arrest or detention. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement where they're offering you 74 days in jail with credit for the 75 days that you've done. Understand that this will go on your record. It's going to be there for the rest of your life. You also need to understand, Mr. Frank, that this is an enhanceable offense. What that means is that if you pick up another one of these cases, you may very well be facing a felony charge years instead of days. Do you understand? You are giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on your behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization under federal law. You give up the right to appeal. Once you plead guilty, you can never change this. You still want to do this. How do you plead to the offense, sir? I'm going to find you guilty, send you to the agreement. The enhancement will be abandoned. Okay, good luck to you, sir. Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Murphy. Ma'am, you were charged with assault, bodily injury. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You guys have worked out an agreement. They're offering you 81 days in jail with credit for the 27 days that you've done. Is this how you understand it? You are giving up the right to a trial, right to compel witnesses to testify on behalf, confront and cross-examine your accusers. If you're not a citizen, there are possible immigration consequences. You can be deported, excluded from the country, denied naturalization. You give up the right to appeal, so it's done today, it's done forever. You still want to do this. How do you plead to the offense, ma'am? I'm going to find you guilty, sentence you to the agreement. Is this one enhanced? Do you know? Let's see. It's included in here, right?
It should be in the middle of the, they were typed it right there.
It's true that you had a prior assault. Well, no, then you'd have to abandon it. Because that would make it a minimum of 90 days.
Yeah, they abandoned it.
Oh, they did abandon it? Okay, all right. Good luck to you, ma'am. Thanks. I didn't realize they abandoned it. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Sir, you were charged with the offense of assault, bodily injury. You are facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. You're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
All right.
On December 26, 2024, an officer was dispatched to a assault report. Officer made contact with the complainant witness who stated that her husband and her had been in a heated verbal exchange over her possibly having an affair. According to the complainant, the defendant was intoxicated and got angry when she began engaging in the argument about infidelity that were found on his cell phone. The complainant stated that the defendant then slapped her on both sides of her face multiple times, which caused pain to her head, and that she was also pushed to the ground, which resulted in her receiving an abrasion to her right knee. The complainant stated that she was able to stop the defendant from assaulting her further by using a baseball bat. The complainant had visible injuries to both sides of her face and her right knee.
Mr. Capetillo, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with your case. I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to have any contact with the complaining witness in this case.
Can we address that, Your Honor? The state, we've spoken about this, the state reached out to the complainant and we're in agreement for no threatening, harassing contact. They have 4 kids together. She has no issue with them living there.
I just spoke with her and she wants him back home. So,
Can I say something, Your Honor?
no.
It just, now's not the time. Did she go to him with a baseball bat? Is that what you were saying?
Judging the DIMS, it indicates that she had I'm not sure what she did with the baseball bat. She said, it says using a baseball bat to defend herself at the very end there. I'm not sure if we have I'm not sure if we don't have an OR, Judge. That's all the facts that I have right now on that.
How long ago was this?
This was about 2 weeks ago.
And they're living together. He's supporting his whole family. They have 4 kids together. He needs to be able to stay home, provide, and be able to help his wife with just taking care of his large family. No assaultive history, right? No assaultive history at all, Your Honor. One of his sons is also autistic, Your Honor, so they really do need help.
Mr. Capetillo, you are not to use, consume alcohol or illegal drugs, and I'm going to test you like crazy to make sure that you're not.
This is textbook courtroom tension. The judge physically demonstrates what counts as threatening a simple hand gesture. Powerful reminder, it's not about what you think is aggressive, but how they perceive it. Makes you rethink how easily lines can be crossed in legal situations, huh?
Using. If I find that you use, I'm going to put you in jail. I will revoke your bond and I'm going to raise it up. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
I will reluctantly allow you to have contact with this person, but I am ordering you not to have any threatening or harassing contact. You need to understand that what is threatening or harassing doesn't matter what you think it is. It's what the other person perceives. So if I go like this, is that threatening or harassing? It most certainly is, and it can land you in jail. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
I realize that times may be tough. I realize you may have stressful situations in this life, but you need to find some kind of outlet for it. Because if I find any other issues, I'm going to protect my community at all costs. Do you understand?
Yes, sir, I do.
And Your Honor, we're requesting a $500 PR bond.
I am entering what's called a magistrate's order for emergency protection that identifies her as a protected individual.
Wow, the judge lays down the law with Tristan and Mr. Capato. For Tristan, the ankle monitor's off, replaced by a 9 p.m. curfew, random drug tests in 3 weeks, and nightly pretrial calls to enforce it. Bond conditions: full-time school with proof, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or contact with his ex, the complainant in his assault case, a group fight at a residence. The judge's 3 strikes warning is fierce. 1 slip, and he's back in jail. Emotional weight. Tristan's plea to focus on school, despite no family support, tugs heartstrings, but his history of non-compliance screams risk. For Capato, a domestic assault case, slapping his wife, pushing her down, her defending with a baseball bat, gets a reluctant PR bond, $2,000, split from $500, $3,000 debate, with a magistrate's order banning violence, stalking, threats, weapons, or substances, despite 4 kids, 1 autistic, needing him at home. Legal note: assault carries up to 1 year, $4,000. PR bond means no upfront cost but strict compliance. Witty jab: wax the floor, Tristan. Judge's life advice is gold. Should Tristan get this leash? Is Capato's bond too lenient given visible injuries? Comment your thoughts as we wrap with more rulings.
You cannot commit family violence or an assault against this person, commit an act in furtherance of an offense under section 42.072 of the Texas Penal Code, which is the stalking statute. You cannot threaten, harass, use another person to communicate a threat or harassing behavior. You cannot be in possession of a weapon or go, this comes with a residential restriction. I will take it off for now. But if I find there are any other issues, we know exactly what's going to happen. No consuming alcohol or illegal drugs from any source. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you say? PR bond.
Judge, I don't believe that a PR bond is necessarily appropriate in this case based on the allegations and the fact that, you know, the officer is indicating visible injuries to the complainant. Really somewhere in the range of a $3,000 surety bond would be more appropriate.
Your Honor, my client's a U.S. citizen. He's taking care of his family. He's in court today. He has no kind of assaultive history. He has a good job. We feel that a PR bond would be appropriate at this time.
Any other prior assaults or assaultive history that you see?
History is from back in 2009. The last time he picked up anything, and it was a DWI.
Okay. Mr. Capatillo, I will give you a PR bond today, but I'm going to tell you, it's the only one that you get. If you pick up a new case, you start acting a fool out there in the free world, I will take the free world away from you, lickety split. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. What did you say as far as the bond amount?
As for-
3?
As for 500, Your Honor.
I request 3.
Okay, so I'll split it, 2,000. So you have a lawyer. Because you have a lawyer, I will waive your appearance, but it is your responsibility to stay in touch with them. If they tell me they can't get a hold of you because you're playing games and not responding to phone calls, text messages, I will issue a warrant for your arrest. If you pick up a new case, violate any of the conditions, a warrant will be issued. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you ever have any questions, all you have to do is come back here and we can also answer any questions that you have, any issues that you may have, but don't just start doing stuff on your own.
Agreed, Your Honor.
We good?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor. You excused?
Yeah, but he can't leave until he signs.
Judge, did you need me to file anything on that one?
No, because he's going to be monitored because of the alcohol. 1 day credit.
Good morning, Your Honor.
It's still there.
It's still there. For Trey, Daniel, application packet, they also refer. I know this is one of their oldest cases in court, but I did tell my client, and he does not want the offer.
Okay.
So we would have to set the case.
Okay, sure. If that's what you'd like to do, whatever day you want.
Because he is on.
Okay. And then if you want to talk a little bit after,
Yeah.
I think there are some other things that
Okay.
we might consider if you can get those to us.
Okay.
Do we set it today or do you want to talk to them more?
I say let's just set it for now, and if we end up doing like a PTI
Yeah.
and dismissal before the trial date, then
I mean, I don't want to put it on the docket if you guys are just going to end up doing that, you know?
okay.
Let's just get a.
So then we can do a reset.
Well,
Whatever you want to. Sorry, Judge.
because I set it today for this very purpose, you know? I mean, the case is since.
Whatever you want.
Let me
So I
see.
think, Judge, you want us to kind of agree to something today versus setting
You
it.
can, and if
Okay.
not, then I
Let's
you know,
talk, we could talk about it.
hold on a second. You talk and then see if there's still nothing, then
Uh-huh.
No problem.
Justin, what's up? How are you? What's new? Looking good, man.
Thank you.
Everything okay?
What's that?
Everything okay?
Yeah. Last night, my wife was saying that I'm tired and cold.
Wait, you come here?
Officially.
Okay.
Call her that. It's so cool. All right, fine.
You know, when we had that big freeze, the one where it froze, all the pipes, you know, we were so cold that we turned on the fireplace, right? And we turned it on basically for like almost 3 days in a row because there's no heat, so we were all sleeping in the living room by the fire, right? And then I ended up getting like a gas bill. I ended up getting a gas bill of like $1,000. I was like, I nearly lost it. Is that what happens with generators? I mean, because they're running on natural gas. And they're,
Can
you imagine? I mean, it's great. You've got a generator. Holy moly.
just automatically comes on.
Remember, Rita, we were out of power for what, a week or 2 weeks? Remember?
Well,
It was like, is that what, wasn't it?
and then Ike was on the also finding the car with power.
Imagine, I mean, just nuts.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to get a generator and then now I'm like kind of reluctant to because it's.
Get a battery backup and some solar panels. Once you pay for it, you never pay for it.
Do you have solar panels?
You don't have money for it, but.
Right, because this, I mean, it's what, 30,000 at least, right?
She's had it for 15 years. She's paid electricity in almost 2 decades.
My electricity bill's huge too. So, I mean, maybe, yeah.
Try it, check it out.
Good to see you, Justin.
So we are most likely going to do a PTI. They just need me to provide some support of my client paying child support, which I can get that today.
Okay, you want to set it for maybe Monday?
That's fine. So if he does agree to a PTI before then, and then he signs the contract, does he still need to come on Monday?
No, if you agreed, contract signed, everything done, but I don't want it to hang around for another 6 months. You know, like let's get it, you know, expect them to get it done just quick. Yeah, okay. Done, thanks.
If I recall you saying that we were going to issue a mower burn fit in the event today, or did we recall that?
We did a mow up on Tapatio. Yeah. Did you not? That was a walkthrough. Hey, Alex, did you do a mow up on Tapatio by chance?
Yeah, let me check, Your Honor.
It was off, correct?
Yeah, it was off topic.
Yeah.
Case number.
What a whirlwind in state of Texas versus Tristan Smith and others. Tristan, 17, scores a chance at freedom. No ankle monitor. But strict bond terms, school enrollment proof, 9 p.m. curfew with random calls, drug tests in 3 weeks, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or complainant contact, his ex. His assault involved a group fight, and the judge's 3 strikes rule looms large, balancing his school plea against a shaky compliance history. Capato's domestic assault, slapping his wife, who defended with a baseball bat, gets a $2,000 PR bond, magistrate's order, and no contact rules, except non-threatening. Due to 4 kids, 1 autistic. Others face quick pleas. Magku, marijuana, 21 days jail. Frank, evading, 74 days. Murphy, assault, 81 days. Key takeaways. Courts juggle rehabilitation, Tristan's school focus, PTI talks, with accountability. Capato's strict oversight. It highlights systemic challenges, youth without support, family violence complexities, pushing boundaries of justice and second chances. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.